boxing. Honorable Nii Lante Vanderpuye, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
Oh, I'm good.
You guys are doing great.
Oh, thank you. You paved the way, so we are here now.
Anyway.
Yes. You were just making a quick point about, to me, off air about the boxing and the shift in the boxing momentum to Nigeria. And you were pointing out there's a reason Nigeria's women have won more medals and why they are stronger. What's that about?
Let me start from the point that I think that all of us in sports broadcasting and journalism in Africa should raise our voices against the decision of most of these powerful African sporting nations to sometimes exclude their best athletes from the African Games.
That's
the
a fair
world
point.
is not being fair to us because as we're having this one, the World Aquatic Championships on, and we are having the World Indoor Games. We are also having the championships, the Golden Leagues and things going around.
There was even wrestling championships also ongoing.
Yes. You see, so we need to talk about, just like the way Ian Wright and all these guys talk about the need for Europe to respect the African Cup of Nations. I think it is time we also talk about the need for the rest of Africa and also the world to respect us. When we are having the African Games, I don't think that is the right time for them to have the Golden League and the World Aquatic Championships and all those things, because then they deny Africa of the opportunity, because all these countries will want their athletes and their sportsmen to compete with those elite people out there so that they can qualify for the Olympics and also make the necessary impact that they want them to make.
Yeah. A good example is, for example, the absence of Ferdinand Omanyala in the 100 meters.
Omanyala in the 100 meters.
Or Faith Kipyegon in the 1,500.
Thank you, Faith Kipyegon. And all those athletes, they didn't come. And they took something away from the African Games. So we need to talk about this. It is time that we sit down and critically look at the schedule of the World International Athletic Federation and also talk about our African Games and see how, just as we've done with football, we can have that time then when we can have our own games and nothing will distract us. Now let me come to the point I was making.
Yes.
South Africa, for example, did not do too well in this. I'm very sure that they would have stopped the table if they have really taken cognizance of the fact that this is also another competition aimed at bringing Africa together and not just about medals. So they would have brought all the elite sportsmen. The swimmers, I was really, really angered when I didn't see all these South African elite swimmers that I've always loved, cheered, and supported at the World Championship and also the Olympic Games. I wanted to see them. I really wanted to see them. I didn't see them. I think Abeku had competition, but Abeku would have loved to compete against some of those people and be able to get the necessary experience that he is looking for. Boxing. Bro, let me be frank with you. Nigerian women naturally are stronger than even their men. If you take the morphological build of Nigerian women and you do the biological analysis, you need to understand why it is easier for a Nigerian woman to adapt to boxing, wrestling, and all these other physical sports than Ghanaian women. It's something from old.
Yeah, because they are so good in the wrestling. They're so good. They won almost all the medals in wrestling. In fact, their women swept. They had a clean sweep in the women.
The only country that were competing with them with the wrestling was, to some extent, Egypt.
Yes.
But the Nigerian women were naturally strong. So it is not something that you can easily, Ghana can just easily think that we can wrap up our fingers around Nigerian women when it comes to boxing. We can't. So we need to look at, one, how do we even get the right people to wear the gloves for us in the next championship? We should not just think that anybody who is born in Bukom area will necessarily be a good field boxer. No. I know that we have that extra, attitude when it comes to boxing. But then we should also look at recruiting. Some of these our strong girls in the north and other places, get them down to Accra, train them, give them the pack, and then now build them up in the knowledge of the sport. When you know that you are really doing scouting and recruiting, don't just think that the person should naturally have that talent. You look at the person's physique. If you think that the person is good, let's get them into the security services. Get them into the boxing gyms. Add value to them. They may have raw talent. Look, today, there are more northern boxers in the gyms of Accra than we have Accra boxers.
That's interesting.
I'm telling you, the recent held boxing league, almost every week you have to go to about 4 or 5 boxers from the north competing in different weight divisions. They are in Accra, and sometimes they don't get any job to do. So with their strength, they just go into boxing, and they're doing well.
Indeed. In fact, one of the things that I noticed during these African Games, all of Ghana's wrestlers are from the north. They brought them all from the north.
Yes.
All the wrestlers, yes.
So we need to look at the north, we look at other areas where we can get the strong ladies, bring them to the gyms in Accra, let them add value to them so that we can change their story. Because if you look at Nigerian boxers, all the Nigerian female boxers do not really come from the Igbo area or the Muslim north. They are all from the Yoruba area.
And Yoruba, traditionally, it's a very combative tribe. Let me put it that way.
Thank you very much. So we should critically look at how we can recruit, we can scout for, recruit sportsmen, train them, add value to them, and then make them better sportsmen and women. But we are just waiting for those who walk into the gyms in Accra and show some potential, and then we train them. Our girls who fought had the skill, but they were not strong.
That's it.
They were intelligent. They were intelligent boxers, but they were not strong. And in the amateur level, at this particular level, is strength. You must have some strength to your knowledge and skill.
That is true. In fact,
it's not professional boxing. It is not professional boxing where I can dance my way, pick my punches, go around my opponents, and here it is how hard you hit and how strong you perform in every round.
And you don't even have a lot of time to do it. It's only 3 rounds.
No, yes, you don't have a lot of time.
It's only 3 rounds. After that, you're done. We'll have to call you back, call you into the studio one of these days.
Thank you. One of these days we have to do a critical analysis.
I agree.
Of our sports development.
Yes. And one of the things, just to buttress the point you were making about Nigerian women being naturally strong, we mentioned the fact that Nigeria won a lot of medals in the wrestling. Nigeria won 6 gold medals in the wrestling. You want to guess how many came from the women and how many from the men?
I know 4 came from the women.
6 from the women, 0 from the men.
Really? There was this Nigerian who I thought was in the final.
No, the Egyptians beat all the Nigerians in all the... In fact, the only other country that got gold medals in the wrestling with the men is Algeria. They got 2. And Egypt got 10. Nigeria got 0. But when it comes to the women, Nigeria had 6 gold medals in the women. So that's the point you are making. You are 100% spot on. The Nigerian women naturally stronger. Honorable, thank you very much for your input.
Thank you.
That's the Honorable Nii Lante Vanderpuye with some invaluable contribution.
My point of departure on the contributions for me would be strengthen the base where these athletes come from.
Yeah.
Instead of bringing, because we know ourselves.
No, he says scout.
Yeah.
It's like we don't scout for the talent.
I'm just saying
we're only waiting for people to walk in.
And you see, often when we even scout and find them, instead of creating the infrastructure and the architecture there to ensure that at least they have something to develop them, so that those who don't make it into the national pool immediately can still go through the ranks in that region. So for someone like Hall Haluti, without coming to Kumasi, her story could have been very different. Right, all of these boxers that we see from the north who are fighting in Accra's gyms, if they had not made it into the pool of the Black Bombers or a gym or a boxing club in Teshi or Nungwa or Jamestown had not picked them up, there wouldn't be as much opportunities or as many opportunities in the north for them. So my issue is that